new Disney show that came out in 2019 as an attempt to make money of the iconic Boba Fett look that Star Wars fans loved so much, and surprisingly, it was pretty good.
Who saw that coming?
Both the critics and normal people loved it, but sadly, all good things must come to an end, and Season 3 proved just that. The audience score has nearly halved compared to the other two seasons, and I think this drop in quality should have been expected. The Mandalorian has never been a complicated show. The episodes are very formulaic. We get a mission that has to be solved at the beginning, and it normally gets solved by the end of the episode. Yet all the episodes build on each other to form the larger story of the two seasons. That story is to locate and deliver Baby Yoda to where he belongs. The problem for Season 3 is that this overarching goal is achieved at the end of Season 2. The main goal got accomplished, and it would make sense for the story to end right here, right now.
And that is the perfect ending to our last story.
However, corporate greed will always ensure that every last penny is rinsed out of the franchise before they are done with it. So the writers were forced to come up with a new intriguing goal to keep the story floating, and it failed miserably. The new idea they came up with was reconquering the Mandalorian home planet. You can tell the writers were clutching for straws to fill the season because the first two episodes are completely irrelevant. It involved Din Djarin trying to get specific parts for his favourite droid because that's the only droid good enough for the job. His words, not mine. And then in the end, he just takes a completely different droid anyways. It really felt like they knew what the finish line was, but not exactly how to get there. Even if they could think of something, this is an awful goal considering our protagonist. Our main hero has zero natural motivation to achieve this new goal, as it is completely unrelated to his character. He wasn't even born there, and throughout the first two seasons, he doesn't really talk about how he wishes his home world was returned to normal. This leads to reason 2. Din Djarin is no longer the main character of the show, which from the story point of view makes sense because, as I previously mentioned, his character has little to no motivation to pursue the new goal. Unfortunately for the show, he was a key aspect of why people really liked it. Instead, the new main character is Bo-Katan, and she is not that entertaining. She struggles from the modern problem of being a female character in modern media. This means that she is naturally amazing at everything that she does. She has to save Din, she has to unite everyone together, and she has to be the perfect, unquestioned leader. Sadly, this is just not entertaining to watch. I will admit that the whole show kind of struggles with the amount of plot armor that main characters receive, especially in Season 3. But writing this, I can't really think of any character problems that Bo-Katan has to conquer. So I think the downfall was rather obvious if they sidelined the main character that everyone actually enjoyed watching. Instead, they should have just made a new show and actually featured Din as a supporting character instead of trying to sneakily change who this show is about. This leads to my final point. One of the first warning signs for Season 3 of The Mandalorian is that it actually begins in a completely different show. At the end of Season 2, Baby Yoda is left with Luke, but at the beginning of Season 3 he is back with Din Djarin. So anyone that was lucky enough to not watch Boba Fett doesn't really understand why they are back together.
You got lucky there.
Yes, they show it on Previously On, but that doesn't excuse how bad of an idea it was. From a viewer's perspective, it might even feel like you got robbed of an experience if you only watched The Mandalorian. A similar thing happens in this season where we randomly transport to Coruscant to observe a mostly unrelated story to everything else going on. Yes, I know the characters are from earlier seasons, but their story in these episodes could be cut and it wouldn't make a difference to this Mandalorian story. I understand that Disney is trying to link all the stories together to explain previous bad writing, but it kind of comes at the expense of the current entertainment. But this is just what I think. If you think I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, or if you enjoyed the video, let me know what part you liked most.